There's an entertaining short story about a husband who handles things like a boss. When his wife informs him that she wants to step back from being a couple and basically live like roommates, where he's supposed to continue doing his husband type of duties in the household and with the kids and all that, but he's not allowed to have any of the benefits of it, and she doesn't have to do anything. And of course, our guy here is like, okay. And he gives her exactly what she requests, and it completely backfires, and she's throwing a big, giant temper tantrum. And I thought I'd be going to go over here, guys, making the point that if your girlfriend, or in this case, a wife, tells you pretty much, I just want to live like roommates, even though most married couples are like roommates, and doesn't want to, you know, fulfill certain obligations, well, then, as a husband, you have a right to end it and walk away, because it's over. And I guarantee you, she's already planning her exit strategy. And it's not fair to the kids for them to be in an environment like this, because it ain't going to be very pretty. Titled, am I the a-hole for stopping all the husband extras after my wife said she wants us to live more like roommates? And a shout to Nishad for sending this in. It says, I'm 39 years old, and my wife, a 37-year-old female, and we have two kids, 10 and 7 years old. About 6 weeks ago, my wife told me she feels checked out of our marriage and wants to step back from being a couple without making any big legal decisions yet. She said she does not want to date other people, she just wants less pressure, less emotional obligation, and more room to figure out whether she still wants this life. Sounds to me she's already figured out that she does not want this life, and this is her way to keep him around doing what he has to do while she's making her plans behind the scenes. Guaranteed. Nope. Lawyer, we're done. But first he's going to have some fun. Well, that hurt me, but I stayed calm. I asked what that would actually mean day to day. And she said the simplest version was that we should think of ourselves more like cooperative housemates who happen to be raising the same kids. Yeah, that's not what I signed up for 10 years ago, whatever, when I married you. So I took her seriously. I moved into the guest room. I stopped automatically saving her a seat at school events. I stopped covering for her with her family when she forgot birthdays or said that she was too slammed to call. I told the kids' school to copy both of us directly instead of sending everything to me and to relay to her. I stopped signing both our names on cards and gifts. I also stopped taking her car for gas inspections or oil changes, and random repairs, which I always had handled because I work from home and she does not. Hey, again, you're now roommates. This is what she wanted, because as roommates, you're not going to take somebody's car in and do all those other things. Well, let's just see how she handles this. None of this was done in any type of dramatic way. I did not sulk. I did not make speeches. I just stopped doing the invisible stuff that belonged to being someone's husband instead of someone's roommate. Now she says I'm being cold and performative. Her biggest issue is that her parents are coming to visit next month, and I told her I'm happy to be polite, but I'm not taking 3 days off to host, or drive them around, fix up the guest room, and act like everything is normal. Why should he? Because they're just roommates. Regular roommates wouldn't do that. I mean, maybe a roommate would if they have a relationship with the parents, but why do her any favors? She says this proves that I only did thoughtful things when I felt rewarded as a husband, and that I'm punishing her for being honest. I do not think this is fair. She changed the relationship, I adjusted my role to match it. That's exactly what he did. She changed the terms of the relationship, so he was like, okay, we're roommates. But, of course, she expected him to be a wet puppy and just go along doing everything else, while she absolutely, behind the scenes, is planning her escape. Don't think for a second that she probably does not have a guy already, isn't already talking to a lawyer, figuring out her options, maybe running down the clock, if you will, so that they're married long enough that he hits that point where, like in some states, if you're married a certain time period, no matter what, she's getting alimony forever. All sorts of things could be going on. The part making me question myself is that, from the outside, it probably looks petty because a lot of things are small. But when I list them out, it is basically all the glue work that kept our household feeling smooth. She says I weaponize logistics. I think I finally stopped pretending we were still a team in ways that only cost me time and my effort. Am I the a-hole for taking the let's live as roommates literally? No, bro, you're not the a-hole for doing that. But you will be the a-hole if you continue this much longer. It is time to end this. Okay, and I'll come back to that in a second. Look what she's done. Out of nowhere. telling you basically I'm not in love with you and I want to live like roommates, and and you're not getting any and all that, no affection, nothing. Which, yeah, it's a lot of relationships, but still, she's going to treat him like essentially a servant. Why should he continue on treating her as if their marriage was what it once was? No freaking way. End of story. He's treating her, he's doing what she wanted, but she is not what she wanted. And of course, she's making him out to be the bad guy here. I guarantee the situation was reversed, and he gave the same speech to her, and she stopped doing that. There ain't no woman alive that would have a problem with what she's doing, but because it's a guy, he's a villain. So, as amusing as this is, okay, it's time for him to deal with the reality. She's not in love with him, probably never was, doesn't care. Guarantee she's probably cheating or at least preparing to leave. Go talk to a lawyer. Go talk to multiple lawyers. Take a day off from work so she doesn't know you're doing this. A personal day, a sick day, whatever. Even if you miss getting paid for the day, if you're hourly wage, it doesn't matter. Find out your options, what you got to do, and end it. Find out if you live in an at-fault divorce state, see if you can dig up any information about her cheating and stuff like that, maybe a PI. Figure out your exit strategy. Yes, your kids will be upset, but it ain't a good idea having kids being in an environment like this, which only going to get worse, you know? And then prepare to go to war, because she doesn't love you. Guarantee she's just planning her strategy there. Now, he's going to... There's a few comments and questions in the section here. I'm going to read them, and he responds to a couple. And then one guy really lays it out well. But again, guys, this is funny, but it's time for him to basically end it. One guy says to him, dude, she basically asked you to downgrade the relationship, and now she's mad you actually did it. That's wild. You can't ask someone to treat you like a roommate and then get upset when they stop doing husband things. Like, what did she expect would happen? Well, she expected him to just go along with her plan, and it didn't work out that way. So she's mad and wants to make him the bad guy, because God forbid she has any accountability in all this. The car maintenance thing especially got me because that's such a clear husband versus roommate difference. And taking days off for her parents when she specifically said she wants less couple obligation is just, yeah, no. And he says, that part got me too. The car stuff was never some grand romantic gesture. It was just one of those defaults I handled because we were a unit. Same with her parents. If I'm just a roommate now, I don't get why I'm expected to play husband on demand. Well, because she wants you to just go along with her plan. That's exactly it. Another guy says here, just tell her you wouldn't do these things for a roommate. Are you guys still considered as friends or just roommates? And he says here, we're civil, but I would not call this a friendship. Friends still show up for each other. What she seems to want is all the practical upside of a husband with none of the weight of being a wife. Yeah, they're not friends. Her being civil is a front, okay? He's only doing this because of the kids figuring things out, and same thing with her. But guarantee you there's a plan going on. And last one, this is a longer comment, but it's worth listening to because this guy really hits the nail on the head. Couldn't say it better myself. This guy says she didn't ask for space because she's confused. She asked for space because she's already mentally checked out and doesn't want to look like the bad guy while she figures out her next move. Ding, ding, ding. You think this is some emotional reset. It is not. It's a trial run. She's testing life without you while keeping you parked neatly on the sidelines in case her plan B does not work out. Correct. And no man should be plan B. Let's call it what it is. She downgraded you from a husband to a backup option, and the worst part, she expected you to keep doing all the household perks while she stripped the title. That's not finding herself, that's having a cake and eating it too. You weren't being petty, you just stopped playing the role that she no longer wanted to give you credit for. She said roommates, and the second you actually acted like one, suddenly it's a problem. That's because she didn't want a roommate, she wanted a butler with emotional loyalty. And let's be real for a second, women don't usually pull the I need space, no pressure, let me figure things out, move in a vacuum. That energy is going somewhere. Whether it's attention and validation from another guy already in the picture, she's investing elsewhere while keeping you as a safety net. Ding, ding, ding. They're always going to keep that guy as a safety net while they find plan B. And once they secure plan B, plan A is toast. The trial separation BS, that's her seeing if someone else can fill the gap you used to fill, emotionally, mentally, maybe even physically, but deep down you know it's physically already. While you sit there proving you're still available, and now she's calling you cold. What she's reacting to is the fact that you no longer are easy, you no longer are predictable, you no longer quietly over-functioning while she undercommits. You don't weaponize anything, you just stop subsidizing a relationship she already walked out of emotionally. Yes! And this is the last part, the last paragraph. Let me put it this way. If this was your friend telling you, my wife checked out, wants to live like roommates, but expects me to keep doing all the husband crap while she figures it out, if she still wants me, you wouldn't tell him to be patient. You wouldn't tell him to keep proving himself. You'd tell him he's being played and grow a set of balls, make the tough choice, the marriage is over. You're not her partner now. You're not her fallback plan. And the only reason this is suddenly a problem for her is because you stopped acting like one. Amen. That's a good way to put it. What would you do if your best friend told you this is how his wife was treating him? Any good friend would say, no, dude, you don't need to stay in this relationship. This is what she's doing. This is what she's doing behind the scenes. This is what she expects, and you can't go on like this. I mean, he's been handling it like a boss. It's funny, but now it's time to boss up, if you will, and get rid of her. And it ain't going to be pretty, and she's going to go to war, and it's going to be a mess, but he can't continue on like this. And here's the thing. Inevitably, it's going to be over anyway, because she's planning her escape. She's just biding her time.